Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning into News9 Live. I'm Kabir Naqvi, and joining me here in the studio is my colleague Ashok Bagria, because what we're essentially are going to discuss is the latest coming from the Supreme Court. Now, the Apex Court today rejected a batch of petitions that sought 100% cross-verification of vote count in electronic voting machines, our EVMs, with the voter verifiable paper audit trail, VVPAT. For those of you go with this particular term on various blogs on social media. These are these paper slips that are deposited by the EVMs after one casts their vote. The main opinion of Justice Sanjeev Khanna was concurred with by Justice Dipankar Datta in a separate opinion. Now, the pronouncement of the verdict has interestingly coincided with the second phase of polling for the general elections to the Lok Sabha. Ashok, Justice Dipankar Datta said, while balanced perspective is important, but blindly doubting a system can breed skepticism, and thus meaningful criticism is needed. Be it judiciary, legislature, etc., democracy is all about maintaining harmony and trust among all the pillars. But it has rejected all those batch of petitions seeking 100% cross-verification. What were some of the main arguments that were put forth? We remember the Election Commission official, was also made to stand there inside the courtroom. He was asked some grueling questions. But we're also told that there is a reaction coming across from the lawyer right outside the Supreme Court. Let's first listen into that, and then we'll come back to Ashok for more.
Today the Supreme Court delivered its judgment on EVM and VVPAT. Our demand was that because the EVMs have a programmable memory and therefore can be manipulated, so in order to avoid public apprehension about the integrity of the EVMs, one of the three things could be done. Either you go back to paper ballots, or you give the VVPAT slip in the hands of the voter, which can be put in the ballot box and then counted, or in the alternative, the black glass of the VVPAT machine should be made transparent, or at least the light should remain on for all the time, so that people can see what is happening inside the VVPAT, and also 100% counting of the VVPAT slips. The court has not accepted our demands, but has directed the Election Commission to examine that if barcodes can be put on the ballot, on the VVPAT slips, so that the VVPAT slips can be mechanically counted by a counting machine. Also, secondly, they have said that the symbol loading unit, which loads the symbol constituency by constituency, should be sealed and kept available for at least 45 days after the election. Thirdly, they have said that every candidate who comes second or third can make a demand for examining the burnt memory of the EVM, and a technical expert team of the Election Commission will have to examine that, but the cost of that will have to be paid by the candidate. With these directions, the court has disposed of these petitions.
Supreme Court says that microcontrollers are agnostic. Now, all those options that were available in front of the Supreme Court to decide upon, Ashok, those were put forth furiously. But how are you looking at how the Supreme Court has now dealt with this issue?
Well, it's not surprising that the Supreme Court has decided to reject this demand. Number one, for 100% cross-verification of the votes cast on EVM and the paper trail. Now, this is a humongous exercise. If you look at it, this was a apprehension expressed by the Supreme Court also, saying that number one, as far as these general elections are concerned, the process is already underway. But if they were to be introduced, it would be a humongous exercise. Number two, you have to understand is that this petition was filed by ADR, which is Association for Democratic Reforms, which has been in the forefront of filing petitions seeking election reforms in the country. Now, ADR in its petition cast doubt on the EVMs, and they said that there is a possibility that the EVMs can be hacked, programmed by the governments in power, and there is a need to have a closer look at it. And how do you have a closer look at it? First option was either they do away with the EVMs, go back to the paper ballot system. And I remember when this whole paper ballot idea was floated in the court, Justice Khanna laughed it off, saying that, look, we are more than 60 years old and we know how the paper ballot system has worked in the last 60 years. The second thing which was argued by ADR was that, look, what can be done is that these VVPAT slips can be given to the voter. The voter can see and cross-verify whether the vote cast by him or her on the EVM is correct, and then deposit that paper slip into a ballot box. And the third alternative which was given was that, look, if nothing of this can happen, then at least ensure that in a VVPAT there is a opaque glass which lights up only for 7 seconds after the vote is cast, so that the voter can see that the vote has been recorded correctly. So they said that, like, do away with this opaque glass, have a transparent glass. But today, Supreme Court rejected all their demands, and a very interesting observation was made by Justice Dipankar Datta, who delivered a conquering verdict, and he said, if you blindly distrust a system, it will lead to unwarranted skepticism. So he is saying that all these doubts which have been raised on EVMs is unwarranted, number one. Number two, it's not as if everything is all right. Even the Supreme Court has given 2 sets of directions just to ensure that the whole process of voting and counting is foolproof. So firstly, they said that, look, as far as the VVPATs are concerned, after the election and the voting concludes, you will seal the VVPAT. The seal will have signatures of the candidates who are contesting the elections, and put this VVPAT in the strong room for 45 days. The second direction is rather more important, where the Supreme Court is saying that, look, if number one, that you control unit, the ballot unit and VVPAT, all of them have to be preserved for 45 days. But during this 45 days or within 7 days of casting of vote, if any candidate who's at number 2 and 3 feels that there was tampering in the EVMs, can raise the issue. And the EC will be mandated to get those machines examined by engineers. But the cost of bearing, of rechecking and cross-verification will have to be borne by the candidates. Now, this is very important, considering that till now, there is no such provision under the Representation of People's Act which gives the candidates the power to seek examination or re-examination of the EVMs after the votes have been cast.
All right then. Many thanks, Ashok, for summing all of that up. The 2 directions that the bench have now passed. The first, on completion of symbol loading process and VVPATs undertaken on or after the 1st of May. The symbol loading units, the SLUs, a major component of the electronic voting machine, shall be sealed and secured in container, and the sealed container would be kept in strong room along with EVMs for at least 45 days post the results. And the second directive, like Ashok mentioned, is that the burnt memory semi-controllers in 5% EVMs, that is the ballot unit, control unit and the VVPAT slip per assembly segment of the Parliament constituency, shall be checked and verified by a team of engineers from the EVM manufacturers. A big decision coming from the Apex Court, coinciding with the second phase of the Lok Sabha polls 2024. Many thanks, Ashok, for joining with us and helping us out with your insights on this crucial and breaking story. We're going to slip into a quick commercial break here. On the other side, more from the second phase of elections, Lok Sabha 2024, Festival of Democracy, bites, reactions, some esteemed panelists as well.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
Luxury is now becoming a need rather than something that you aspire to be. So that is adding a lot of fuel. Obviously, government has played a vital role in it.
In a city like Mumbai, a luxury home may be something upwards of rupees 10 crores. In city like Delhi, again maybe something upwards of 8-9 crores. But in Bangalore, we typically define a luxury home, anything which is upwards of about 3 crores.
It's a combination of increased wealth, availability of more luxurious homes, and simultaneously the overall economy doing better.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
Brought to you by VGuard, co-powered by Sensodyne and Vimal, Polo Subha Kesari.
Welcome back. You're watching News 9 Live. Mandate 2024. The second phase of Lok Sabha polls is underway with 88 seats across 12 states and union territories going to polls. Voting will be completed in all 20 constituencies of Kerala and is also the final phase of voting for Manipur, Rajasthan and Tripura. Now voting is also in progress for 14 of the 28 seats in the state of Karnataka, 8 seats in Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh, 5 seats in Bihar, Assam and Madhya Pradesh, 3 seats each in Chhattisgarh and West Bengal, and 1 seat in Jammu and Kashmir that is going to polls. Now, of the 88 seats, 9 are reserved for the scheduled castes and 7 for the scheduled tribes. About 1,210 candidates are contesting in these elections in the second phase, with the BSP having fielded the most number of candidates, followed by BJP at 68 and Congress, of course, representing that same number. In the year 2019, the NDA, the National Democratic Alliance, won 61 of these 88 seats that are polling in the second phase, whereas the parties that now constitute the India bloc, the opposition alliance, had won only 23 of these 88 seats. Now, in terms of vote share, the NDA had got 50.73% of the votes compared to the opposition bloc's 41.94%. The BJP alone had won 55 of these 89 seats, including then independents Mandya MP Sumalata Ambrish and Amravati MP Navneet Rana, who joined the Bharatiya Janata Party recently ahead of the Lok Sabha polls. Now, with the Congress far behind at 18 last time in 2019. Now, some of the key candidates, pay close attention, whose fate will be tested in the second phase are Rahul Gandhi, Congress leader, who is contesting from Wayanad, Shashi Tharoor of the Indian National Congress, who is fighting against BJP's Rajiv Chandrasekhar in Thiruvananthapuram. Tejasvi Surya, when you're looking at Karnataka, of the Bharatiya Janata Party. From Bengaluru South, B.Y. Raghavendra of the Bharatiya Janata Party. From Shivamoga, C.P. Joshi, representing Congress from Bhilwara. Om Birla, the Speaker of the lower house of the Parliament, representing the Bharatiya Janata Party from Kota. Navneet Rana, BJP from Amravati. Hema Malani is also in the fray this time around, representing the Saffron Party. From Mathura, Arun Govil, you all know him as Lord Ram from the 1990s Ramayana series. He is contesting on a BJP ticket from Meerut. Bhupesh Baghel, the former Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Congress leader from Rajnandgaon. Ladies and gentlemen, so many key battles that are going to be taking place today. Close focus on, of course, Kerala and all the states that are going to be finishing their polling. Tripura, Rajasthan, but of course, Karnataka, a huge major state. 14 of those 28 seats going to polls. Let's open this discussion up. We will, of course, be interspersing our discussion and an esteemed set of panelists that are, of course, with us. Rennie Abraham, senior journalist, and KV Prasad, senior journalist. Both need no introduction. They're both with us. A very warm welcome to you. Do stay on with us. Let's quickly listen in to some important reactions, and we'll come back with the latest voter turnout and vote share that we're picking up from our reporters on the ground.
I am asking a question as to whether this is a friendly match, because the fact is that we have never heard a single criticism of the BJP from the LDF campaign, and we have not heard a single criticism of the LDF from the BJP campaign. Both have trained their guns on me, their invective, their campaign has been directed solely against me. I am perfectly willing to take it, but certainly it raises some legitimate questions. We are here because we want to change the government in Delhi. I have made no bones about that. As a Congress candidate, at every junction, at every stop, I have repeatedly made the point that as far as I am concerned, this is an election far greater than my own future. It is about India's future. It is about changing the government in Delhi. That's what we are here to do. We are here to restore democracy, restore a faith in diversity, restore India's pluralism, and restore for the first time the country that most of us grew up in and took for granted until these 10 years have veered it in a very different direction. A country free of communalism, a country free of the kind of bitterness, hatred and unpleasant invective that has dominated our political discourse for the last few years. That's what I'm fighting for. The left claims they're also critical of the BJP, but they've never said a word against the BJP. That's the only question I was asking. Why not?
We are very sure of a historic mandate in Kerala. So this is not an election to choose a few MPs in Kerala. This is a national election which will decide who will be the Prime Minister for the next 5 years. It will decide which government will be, which party and which coalition will be governing this country for the next 5 years. And this is the first time in India's history where a two-time sitting Prime Minister is going for a third election with zero anti-incumbency. There is a pro-Modi wave across India. And there are 13 states going to polls today, and it's not even 8. And every single state is seeing huge voting numbers. So there is a lot of excitement for a Prime Minister's vision for India. And Kerala is no exception. So we are very sure that we will win more than 370 seats for our party, more than 400 seats for our coalition. And rest assured, a large number of them will be from Kerala. This is a state which you rightly said where we never had a member of parliament so far. But this time we will create history. Last time we had double-digit vote share. This time we are strongly contesting in double-digit seats. And we will win multiple of them, and one of them will definitely be the seat I am contesting from Pathanamthitta.
There is a trend, a silent trend against this government across the nation. I hope the Congress-led India front will come back. In Kerala, we got 19 out of 20 seats last time. And we lost Alapuri seat by a few votes margin. This time our AICC General Secretary is contesting, Mr. K.C. Venugopal is contesting from there. He will win with a wonderful margin. There is a trend against the central government as well as the state government. And there is an anti-incumbency against the state government also. So, and we have fielded very good candidates in the field. They are doing well. So our assessment is that we will get 20 out of 20.
You will see the people's heart. I will see, or the nation will see, participation of Kerala in the national development movement. So the heart will bloom in Trichur and such other constituencies in the state.
All right, then we're going to break off for some commercial commitment, but on the other side, with Rennie Abraham and, of course, KV Prasad, the keener focus on Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Rajasthan, ladies and gentlemen. Do stay tuned.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
Brought to you by VGuard, co-powered by Sensodyne and Wimmel. Polo Subakis.
India's ever-evolving urban landscape is witnessing a new revolution. And this one comes on four wheels.
The affluence has been growing. Cars are becoming more a reflection of what you are.
Nobody's talking about hatchbacks. Now what next? The next is the SUV.
The contribution of SUVs is close to 55-60% of the automobile sales these days.
Is that even manufacturers like to sell SUVs?
So, how did a nation obsessed with fuel economy come to love heavy gas-guzzling sports utility vehicles? Let's look at how India fell in love with the SUV.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Brought to you by VGuard, co-powered by Sensodyne and Wimmel. Polo Subakesari.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
Mandate 2024. All seats in Kerala are going to polls for the Lok Sabha 2024 elections. Now, ladies and gentlemen, KV Prasad, senior journalist, is with us. Also with us is Rennie Abraham. But I'm going to quickly cut across to KV Prasad to talk about Kerala first and foremost. Mr. Prasad, Thrissur is that one competition everybody is looking at. In the first 2 hours, we've recorded about 12% of voter turnout. We've seen the Antonies go against each other. And of course, the fight of the allies, the Congress taking on the left. It's a Pinari Vijayan versus Rahul Gandhi contest. And we've seen that so many times around. Now, is that the flexibility of the opposition alliance, like Rahul Gandhi puts it, or is that more than what meets the eye? Is the fortune for the Saffron Party going to change this time around?
Well, Kabir, I'm reminded of an incident in 2004 when we were discussing post-2004 results. We were talking to President Das Munshi about the dichotomy, about the left trying to support Congress. And he said in a jocular manner, he said, because he was also a football federation president, he said, listen, just as in East Bengal and Mohun Bagan or Modern Sporting contest against each other in the Maidan, but when they come for national play, they wear the same jersey, they wear the India jersey. So he kind of explained the dichotomy in a very common man's language. So here is what is happening. We all know that in Kerala, it has to be NDA versus UDF. So there is no way you can come together. Just as it used to be in Bengal. But in Bengal, the scene changed because Mamata has taken over the principal charge as the political party there. So in a sense, what we heard a little while ago from Mr. Sahil Tharoor, in which he says, listen, the NDF did not elect the BJP did not NDF. But remember, leave Kerala aside, they are allies. They have alliances elsewhere. So it's a strange affair, but it's not that it has not happened in the past with other parties. It has happened in other parties too. But this stands out, sticks like a sore thumb nonetheless.
Well, absolutely. Rene Abraham, your viewpoints and opinions on Kerala. We've got some major battles taking place in Thiruvananthapuram. Of course, the Congress supporters saying that that's not even a battle to look at. But of course, Rajiv Chandrasekhar versus Shashi Tharoor is something that people have been talking about. Suresh Gopi, people are, putting all their money on Suresh Gopi when it comes to the Bharatiya Janata Party opening up their account in Kerala. But there's so much more, in terms of issues, in terms of cultural imbalances that have been brought into the light. What's your opinion on Kerala at the moment? 12% voter turnout in the first 2 hours.
Well, Kabir, the simple thing that comes out of Kerala, although we know that the BJP does not have an elected representative, either an MLA or an MP from the southernmost state of India thus far. Although in 2014, there was a solitary MLA who was in fact elected from Kerala on a BJP ticket, which again was lost in the 2021 state assemblies by the BJP. So for them to, get a foothold and firm, positioning politically speaking, seems to be something that they are very positive about in these current elections. That is because they are observing that the Congress, although in alliance with the left parties at the national level, seems to be pitted against the left in Kerala. And the reason for this is the strong and strident manifesto in favor of minorities that the Congress has, in the run-up to the second phase of polling, started emphasizing upon. This has pitted the communists in Kerala or from the LDF faction against the Congress. And if, just as Shashi Tharoor said a few minutes back on your program, that neither the BJP nor the left, are criticizing each other. They both seem to be focused upon us, and he is dead right about that. But the reason lies more with the Congress manifesto, which has unsettled the LDF and communist-led government in Kerala, that feels that its minority vote bank is sought to be usurped and impacted by the Congress. So there you are. The BJP is, for once, looking very positively that it is going to make, at least a huge showing in terms of its political footprint and the vote share going, in double digits. And they are also hopeful of at least, bagging one MP seat from Kerala, if not more.
Right. That is actually a fair point, and many thanks for summing that up. It's interesting to see that the Congress party wants to see a change in the national capital, but the Bharatiya Janata Party wants to see a change in the state of Kerala. 12% voter turnout. Gentlemen, do stay on with us. We're going to slip into a quick break here, and on the other side, try and discuss a little bit of Karnataka, what's happening over there. 14 of the 28 seats going to polls. Of course, Shivamogga, Hassan, Mandya, Mysore, Bangalore South. All those important seats and key contests taking place. Stay tuned.
Brought to you by VGuard, co-powered by Sensodyne and Wimmel, Polo Subha Kesari.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
India produces between 1,500 and 2,000 films every year, the highest for any country. But they get ignored at international awards.
The Oscars are basically American national awards for themselves.
You're not going to be able to make a better pizza than an Italian chef. You're not going to be able to make a better sushi. Make better sushi than a Japanese chef. Will you make better khichdi than a Japanese chef? Right? So I want you to taste my food. We are making cinema that we are proud of.
In fact, it has been 2 decades since an Indian feature film featured in the Oscars International Film category.
All these years, for much of its history, they've been just awarding their own films, and this one tiny category, Best Foreign Language Film, had the entire world frothing at the mouth to get into the Oscars.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
40 countries, 1,000 multilingual bookstalls, 1.25 lakh people. One destination, the New Delhi World Book Fair 2024.
So it's a great honour to be here. Thank you to the National Book Trust and those that have embraced us over recent days.
I was at the London Book Fair once and I had not participated here, but this fair is an ocean and it's beautiful.
This should be your annual spring picnic.
Through the power of knowledge, we are going to create responsible citizens, global citizens with global skills and also global responsibility.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
Brought to you by vigorous, co-powered by Sensodyne and Wimmel, Polo Subha Kesari.
All right, then, welcome back. You're watching News 9 Live. I'm Kabir Naqvi. It's the second phase of the Lok Sabha polls 2024. People are already posting pictures on social media, showcasing and showing off the indelible ink on their index fingers. Now, we were talking about Kerala, ladies and gentlemen, but now we're shifting our focus to Karnataka. Take a look at that. H.D. Kumaraswamy, after casting his vote, exercising his franchise, and several of those top celebrities and politicians early in the morning beating the heat, of course, making a beeline to various polling booths and exercising their franchise. Some key competition and key contests are taking place today. Mind you, pay close attention. Bangalore Central, Bangalore North, Bangalore Rural, Bangalore South. Important seats all across Bengaluru are all in the fray. In Shivamogga, B.Y. Raghavendra is facing off against Geeta Shiv Rajkumar. In Hassan, it's Prajwal Revanna versus Shreyas M. Patil. In Mandya, it's H.D. Kumaraswamy, the JDS Supremo, versus Venkatarmane Gowda, representing the Indian National Congress. In Udupi, Chikmagalur, it's Kota Srinivas Pujari, representing the Saffron Party, versus K. Jayaprakash Hegde of the Congress Party. 14 seats of the 28 seats are up for grabs in the second phase of the Lok Sabha polls 2024. Of course, joining me soon on the broadcast is going to be Rennie Abraham, senior journalist, and KV Prasad. Both political analysts need no particular introductions. Both are going to be with us. But first and foremost, let's listen in to some reactions from Karnataka, from the politicians that are in the fray themselves, and some political leaders as well. And then we'll come back for more.
चरण की वोटिंग है 89 सीटों पर चुनाव होने वाले हैं और पहले चरण जो 19 तारीख को हुआ था तब 102 सीटों के लिए चुनाव हुआ था और उसी के बाद मैंने कहा था कि दक्षिण में बीजेपी साफ और उत्तर में बीजेपी हाफ। आज भी वही नतीजा देखने को मिलेगा और पहले 2 चरण के बाद आप देखेंगे बीजेपी दक्षिण में साफ और उत्तर भारत और मध्य भारत में हाफ.
To execute the right given by our constitution to choose whatever candidate from whichever party he or she is to govern us. Therefore, today is a very happy day. Today is a day when we should all be enthusiastic to exercise that power. Thank you.
I want to tell everyone, don't sit at home and then make comments. Come out, this is your right. Choose your leader. You express your what is in your mind and don't comment. I always feel urban people vote less compared to rural people, and don't do that. Please come out, and you can see a lot more of my age people here. So I request youngsters to come out, vote, express what's in your mind.
Especially young voters, first-time voters. அற்புதமான அனுபவம். That is the power. And அதோடைய சந்தோஷம் மகிழ்ச்சி உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கும். Please choose your leader. Please choose your representative so that you don't complain tomorrow.
Yes, it can be a hot day for Bengaluru, but it is worth coming out. Choose your time. Come, please come. Do vote. India needs every vote. I think they want continuity. They want stability. People want India to progress. And they've seen last 10 years. Last 10 years is performance of this government is definitely in the minds of the people, and therefore I think that will be the one with which they've come to the booth. You can see the enthusiasm. Senior citizens in particular, I'm very grateful, have just come out of their homes and they are in long queues. They are not grudging. They are not saying, oh, it's taking too long. They are there. And some of them, I know the Election Commission, in fact, I'm grateful to the Election Commission. Election Commission has made a provision that they can vote from home. But despite that, inclusive of my parents, despite that, many senior citizens have chosen to come and be here, feel the pulse and cast their vote. I welcome that. I was also very happy to see a lot of one-time voters, the first-time voters, first-time voters who were here. I stood with them, had some pictures clicked. The enthusiasm among the senior citizens and enthusiasm among the young, the first-time voters, is very encouraging.
Rennie Abraham, senior journalist, with us on the broadcast. But let me first quickly take you to Karnataka, ladies and gentlemen. My colleague Mohammad Wajiullah on the ground. Waji, where exactly are you? First, tell us that. And what does the voter turnout look like? Everybody is talking about the voter apathy when it comes to Karnataka. A lot more elderly out there at the polling booths than the youngsters. Is the situation different where you are at the moment?
Well, Kabir, I am at Shanti Nagar, and this booth was filled at 7, 8, 9 when the sun was not that high. There was a huge queue over here. People were there trying to cast their vote and practice their franchisee. But right now, the line has become small because it is at around 11:40 right now. So you can expect the people, the percentage to dip with regards to the people who are coming here to vote. But people have come here to vote in the early hours of the morning. We saw a lot of crowd here when I was here in the morning. But right now the crowd has dipped. But I have a few voters with me over here who would come here to vote. This is Mr. Wilson. He is the principal of Baldwin. Sir, you casted your vote. There are a lot of people who still haven't come out to vote. What is your first take on that? What do you want to tell them?
When I came this morning, there was no problem at all. We were taken as senior citizens. I waited almost 5 minutes or so. After that, very conveniently we voted.
And those people who still haven't come out to vote, what would you tell them?
Ask them to come. Everyone should come and vote. They have to exercise their rights. So I request each and every one of them to come and vote before 6 o'clock this evening.
Ma'am, you casted your vote to ma'am. So you could both show your finger. It would be great for all of us. Yeah. Ma'am, what is the thing that people should keep in mind when they cast their vote? Because it's a very important day for them.
It's a responsibility and they own it. Right?
All right. And what do you do? What do you do, sir? And what do you think? What should people do before they cast their vote? What should they think when they cast their vote?
They should come and see that. Basically, they should come. They should make sure that it is the responsibility of a person, and it's a duty of every Indian to come and cast a vote.
All right. Well, Kabir, this constituency is the Bangalore central constituency where the fight is between Mr. P.C. Mohan and Mansoor Ali Khan. and it's a close fight. PC Mohan has been winning this constituency for the last 2-3 times, and Mansoor Ali Khan has been a contender. But now it remains to be seen. As I can show you that the voting turnout is less, but early hours of the morning we saw a lot of people. So we hope that by 6 o'clock the percentage increases and more people come and cast their vote over here. This is back to you.
Well, absolutely. All right, Vajji, many thanks for giving us the latest details right from ground zero in Karnataka. Let me quickly go across to Rennie Abraham, the political analyst with us on the broadcast. Rennie, 9% voter turnout so far. Women vote is a big issue when it comes to Karnataka. Siddaramaiah, just a couple of days back, he was on record for saying that there is no Modi wave in Karnataka whatsoever. But there is voter apathy, and Tejasvi Surya, right early in the morning said that he expressed his opinion on Mallikarjun Kharge sitting down with the Prime Minister, talking about the Congress's manifesto. The recent spate of speeches in the run-up to the elections in the state of Karnataka, the voter apathy, 9% voter turnout, women's vote, and the thumping majority that Congress party this time got in the assembly elections. How will all of this pan out for Karnataka? 14 of those 28 seats up for grabs today.
You're right, Kabir. In Karnataka, the Congress obviously is feeling pretty confident, having, stormed into power in the state assembly elections. And as we all know, Karnataka has also behaved much like Rajasthan over years, where 5 years it used to be the BJP, and then which is now, returned to power in Rajasthan, ousting the Congress that was there for the last 5 years. So this trend has also been, well known in Karnataka, where there is this change of government every 5 years, so to speak. But having said that, the fact of the matter is there have been recent instances, including the Coimbatore bomb blast, which has not really gone down well in terms of handling, by the state government. You saw that the state government initially tried to suggest that it was some business rivalry that may have caused that incident to take place. Subsequently, which all has been belied, and it's come to be known to have been improvised explosive device that was employed by some ISIS modules. So things like that are at play, and one of the prime reasons for the low voter turnout thus far, we are still waiting for the rest of the day to play out, but it is being viewed that many voters may be feeling that there is no change in the national level per se, so that motivated voter, the Congress voter particularly, who would have wanted to make a difference in the Lok Sabha elections, may not really be as motivated to go and vote, and maybe that's why you're seeing a lower turnout thus far.
Right. We're looking at some visuals of the celebrity Prakash Raj, who's quite ardently supporting the Congress party going against the ruling dispensation. But those are pertinent points that you have raised there. Shobha Karandlaje, her opinion right after, the Rameshwaram cafe blast was also something that was looked down upon in the state of Karnataka. But Rennie, let's shift our focus from Karnataka. Let's also talk a little bit about Maharashtra. 8 important seats up for grabs in Maharashtra. Akola, Amravati, Buldana, Hingoli, Nanded, Parbani, Wardha and Yavatmal Vashi. They're all up for grabs. 7:1. That was the score last time around in 2019. And take a look at that. Mr. Chavan casting his vote, exercising his franchise. Now, shifting our focus to Maharashtra. Rennie, that's your area of focus also. Shall we talk about Amravati a little bit? And you know what? Before we do that, how about we listen in to what Navneet Rana had to say?
वो चार्म, वो हैप्पीनेस, वो पॉजिटिविटी हमेशा मेरी ज़िंदगी में कैरी ऑन किया है, और वही कैरी ऑन करके आज मैं मतदान करने जा रही हूँ। हनुमान चालीसा जब पठन किया, मेरे सास ससुर का आशीर्वाद लिया, उन्होंने औक्षवान किया, तो मुझे लगता है कि पॉजिटिवनेस जो ज़िंदगी में है, जो मोदी जी, अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी, हमारे देश के सुषमा स्वराज जी जिस तरीके से देश के प्रति योगदान, अमित शाह जी योगदान दे रहे हैं, वो पॉजिटिवनेस मेरे में है। और मैदान है, हर कोई लड़ सकता है, सबको शुभकामनाएं। मैं आपको इतना ही बता सकती हूँ, एक 52 वर्ष के राहुल गांधी जी से लोग यही एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं कि इस देश का जितना भी संवैधानिक हक इस देश के नागरिकों को मिला है वो छीनने की बात राहुल गांधी जी कर रहे हैं। खून पसीने की कमाई से महिलाएं अपना घर संपत्ति अपनी आने वाला भविष्य बच्चों का सिक्योर करती हैं, वो लेने की बात राहुल गांधी जी कर रहे हैं। तो मुझे लगता है इस देश की महिलाओं को मैं इतना ही कहना चाहूँगी, इस देश में उनका भाई नरेंद्र मोदी जी उनके साथ हैं, उनका परिवार का सदस्य रहकर वो उनके साथ है। तो जब तक सूरज चांद है तब तक संविधान है और उसके साथ इस देश में महिलाओं को कोई हाथ नहीं लगा सकता।
All right then. Shifting our focus to Maharashtra. Reni, what are your viewpoints on Maharashtra? 7.4% voter turnout recorded in these 8 Lok Sabha seats. Of course, Amravati is being closely watched, but I'm sure Yavatmal, Vashi, Wardha, Akola, these are all important seats again. You have in Parbani sitting Member of Parliament Sanjay Jadhav representing the Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray faction versus Ajit Pawar's faction of the NCP. Some real interesting battles that are playing out in Maharashtra's pot boiler. Over to you.
You're right, Kabir. There is a multifarious, battles that are ongoing. For one, to start off from where you pointed out, 7-1. That was the tally that the NDA enjoyed in these 8 seats that are going to polls in the second phase of general elections in Maharashtra. But you must remember that in 2019, the Shiv Sena Undivided and the BJP were fighting in an alliance. So this time round, you have that alliance is no longer existent, and there are 2 factions of the Shiv Sena, in fact, and 2 factions of the Nationalist Congress Party that are now going to be battling each other. So the dynamics have totally changed. So if I may just preface it with the first phase of elections, where we saw 5 Lok Sabha seats being contested in Maharashtra. Right after that, and with some data on the exit polls and surveys that the parties did, a former Congress CM told me that out of those 5 that went to polls in the first phase, the Congress expected that 2 or 3 would go in the lap of the Maha Vikas Agadi, which is a combine of the Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray Shiv Sena, the Sharad Pawar faction of NCP, and the Congress party in Maharashtra. So now coming to this phase, and particularly about Amravati, where you pointedly spoke about. Now, Navneet Rana was an independent candidate who Sharad Pawar claims to have supported and helped elect back in 2019. Now she has firmly with the BJP. She has in fact joined the BJP party, and she is a candidate of the BJP from Amravati. However, for her, the challenge for her is arising from within the alliance government of the Eknath Shinde-led dispensation in Maharashtra, because an independent MLA from that same faction, Mr. Bachchu Kadu, who also has a huge this in Amravati, he is the one who is actually trying to bring her down and see to it that she loses her, Lok Sabha seat from Amravati. So her battles, it's typically a very ironic situation. Instead of having to focus on the MVA combine, Navneet Rana is more worried about what Bachchu Kadu is going to effectively, do to her prospects of winning in this seat.
Always interesting when Navneet Rana is, right in the thick and thin of affairs. But of course, Akola, where Mr. Dhotre, Abhay Patil, and Prakash Ambedkar are weighing off in a tri-corner contest. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on that front as well. But you know what, Reni, before we let you go, I really want to touch upon Rajasthan a little bit as well. That's also another important and interesting state. 13 seats that are in fact going to go to polls in Rajasthan. You've got Ajmer, Banswara, Barmer, Bhilwara, Chittorgarh, Jalore. Another important and interesting key battle that's taking place in Jalore. You've got Lumbarman Chaudhary of the Bharatiya Janata Party going up against Vaibhav Gehlot of the Congress Party. And in Kota, early in the morning, Reni, I saw Om Birla. He walked around with much gusto. He said that, I've paid my obeisance at the temple and now I'm going to get the blessings of the public. And that's Om Birla on your screens casting his vote. Over to you, Rani. What does Rajasthan look like? Last time around it was 13-0, all to the NDA. Are things going to change this time around? The assembly elections, of course, Ashok Gehlot lost, but not by a very great and huge margin, mind you.
Absolutely, Kabir. But as far as Rajasthan is concerned, we must go back to 2021, 2022, because that was the turning phase in terms of Rajasthan for all the changes that were happening within the BJP. So the BJP High Command, comprising of the Prime Minister and his Home Minister Amit Shah, they had consciously tried to change the leadership of Rajasthan, as in Vasundhara Raje, who was being, projected as the CM faced in even the last state assemblies. So 2 years ago, the first effort was made, since you mentioned Om Birla, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. He was the first person who was being entrusted with the task of taking over charge of Rajasthan before the state assembly elections happened. That somehow did not work out. And then Gajendra Shekhawat, a union minister, was put in place to try and take it up. But it did not work with Shekhawat either. And it more or less looked like Vasundhara Raje would prevail. She was even given a kind of a reprieve, so to speak, and asked to correct her coordination with the centre if she intended to be the face of the BJP for the state assemblies that the BJP won. But subsequent to that, it was decided that the state assembly elections of Rajasthan would be fought under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's name. And you saw it play out very, very overtly also. In fact, on the day of the announcement of the Chief Minister, it was very noticeable, it was consciously done, that Rajnath Singh handed her a chit with the name of the Brahmin Chief Minister that Rajasthan today boasts of. So that was very clear to all who were tracking Rajasthan that it had been taken out of Vasundhara Raje's responsibility as the projected face of the elections. So that is what we are seeing playing out now even in the Lok Sabha, and the BJP, which had managed to retain those seats of Rajasthan even in the 2019 elections, is not unduly worried, because they already trumped the state assemblies. And apart from Vaibhav Gehlot, whom Ashok Gehlot, the erstwhile chief minister, is very actively grooming to ensure his political foray meets with success, the BJP is not very concerned about the situation there.
Pertinent points being raised there. Rani Abraham, many thanks for joining with us in this news wheel, talking about all these important states. Of course, in News9 Live, we're not only focusing on Kerala, Karnataka, Rajasthan and Maharashtra. Elections are on in Uttar Pradesh, 8 seats, Maharashtra, 8 seats, Madhya Pradesh, 5 seats up for grabs over there, ladies and gentlemen. Bihar, Assam, Chhattisgarh, West Bengal, Tripura and Jammu and Kashmir. It's the second phase of the Lok Sabha polls, ladies and gentlemen. News9 Live continues to bring you all the latest developments. 12% voter turnout in the state of Rajasthan. That's where we leave you in this news wheel. We're going to come back with more states and more reactions. Well, many thanks for watching this particular show. Keep watching News9 Live.
Brought to you by vigorous, co-powered by Sensodyne and Vimal. Polo Subha Kesari.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Golf as a game, it is closest to the game that you call life.
You've got to use your mind. You cannot lose it.
The sharpest person is one who understands his limitations.
खुद को कर बुलंद इतना कि खुदा बंदे से पूछे कि तेरी रजा क्या है.
You might have A bad break after a good shot might have a good break after a bad shot, but the fact remains, you got to play the ball from where it lies.
Watch Jeev Milkha Singh on Duologue with Barun Das, streaming on News9 Plus.
Start with the end in mind. You need to know where you want to reach. Every morning that we wake up, we are exercising our choice. The destiny is decided. The results are known that I'm going to win. Life of a goalkeeper is something which has always intrigued me. When you come into a stadium, this is the highest level of pressure. When I set out to do something, I decide in my mind that failure is not an option.
What you feel very strongly about, those are the stories to tell.
I have a mind which is absolutely restless.
Mind and body are entangled sensations.
That brings me back to golf. It's an amazing game.
This is not a perfect game. You only learn from them.
If you have a formula to a success, then you can replicate it.
I feel this is my first step. I'm starting now.
Winner is first born in the mind. I think, therefore I am. We are all about our mind.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Film and entertainment is definitely one of the levers for any country to build its brand.
We are getting global. I feel that we're just on the takeoff.
More and more films are becoming language agnostic.
Content is a universal language.
There's one audience in the world.
Absolutely. End of the day, we all are like brothers who have mutual respect for each other from a different land.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Currently, the industry is facing a lot of challenges as far as demand is concerned. Basically, the US markets has slowed down because of high inflation.
So obviously, diamonds being a dream product, something which doesn't have a utility value or is seen as a luxury. So that obviously goes off your shopping list. That's the first item that will go off your shopping list, especially in recessionary trends.
That lab-grown diamonds are not mined and they do away with the entire mining. So they save up on all the environmental damage that is associated with mining and of course, the mining cost, which is why they're even more affordable.
People that is impacted by all these recessions are the artisans, are the people who work in this industry, right? But I think lab-grown diamond has allowed them to actually use their skills in the same product.
This and more, streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
You were the chosen one to direct Mr. Bachchan for his first endorsement, for his first appearance on the small screen.
It was a life-changing moment.
So have you been a rebel with a cause?
There was a sense of responsibility, there was a sense of frustration.
Are you worried about cancel culture?
You tell a story with a fierce psychosis, you're gonna spoil it anyway.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है Money9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience. पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार